Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. I'm your humble host, Kevin Kietzman. And if you tuned in to hear me railing about Patrick Mahomes' dad bod, you've come to the wrong place. Probably. I may address the controversy in the next half hour. But if you want to talk about that, you're going to have to call me. Don't call the radio station. Don't get a hold of Pete. Don't do this. Don't do that. If you want to talk about this issue, you can always call this radio show about anything that I say here or on the podcast. Now, not a lot of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about right now, and that's just fine. We can reset that a little bit next hour. It had to do with the pictures we saw of Patrick Mahomes on a yacht in the Key Biscayne in Miami over the holiday weekend, and his dad bod in all its one-sentence posts on social media, and so be it. But I will have this discussion all day because I am right, and I know that I'm right, and that's the way it's going to be. So if you tuned in to hear about that, you want me to talk about it, you're going to have to call me and ask me about it. Our phone number here, as always, is 913-408-7957. Maybe more on the controversy next half hour. We start today with this star bond extension in the state of Kansas. And this fits this format better than the Patrick Mahomes, whether he's in shape or not, topic, which was a big part of my, not a big part, it was a big part of my podcast today. It's the lead of my podcast today. It was a buried topic 30-some minutes in yesterday and somehow became a viral national story. But whatever. I addressed it fully today at the beginning of the podcast, and all my thoughts are right there. It's Kevin Kietzman Has Issues. You can go to kkasissues.com and hear everything that I have to say on that topic right there at the podcast in all of its full glory. The star bonds are a different issue. Yes, they're sports related, but they're also taxpayer related. If the Royals build a stadium in Clay County, it's going to require Clay County voters to pass a half-cent sales tax. If the Chiefs renovate in Jackson County, it's going to require Jackson County voters to go to a poll and vote yes and get on a ballot and provide money for the Chiefs. These are all factual statements. There are offers in Kansas. I think Kansas has made, well, I have to be a little careful here because I want to give them credit in Kansas. If they believe that it's done or they've got a handshake or a wink, or they've been told by the Chiefs, hey, we're coming, we want to come, your choice 1A, and something else would be 1B. If that's the case, then it's a little bit different. But the Chiefs have done this before. I was in business with the Chiefs, and they will tell you you're 1A when you're not 1A. That happened many times. They're ruthless. You better get it in writing. That's who and what they are. And that's great. They should be. They're running a business, and they should be that way. They're very, very good at what they do. Very good at what they do. But in extending the star bonds for 1 year, Kansas has lost any leverage. They now sit back and say, well, we'll find out if Missouri can beat us. I still believe the Royals want to be in Missouri. I do. I don't know that the Chiefs want to. I don't think renovating Arrowhead, on a scale of 1 to 10, renovating Arrowhead, the plan is about a 5, and a new stadium is like a 9.5. It's just not close. Now, if they had a place in Missouri where they wanted to build a new stadium and an entertainment district and whatever around that, I'd listen to that all day long, but they really haven't mentioned that. We don't know anything about something like that, and it would have gotten out by now. So here's the crazy part, and you tell me what you think this means. Mark Donovan wrote a letter to Ty Masterson and the people at Kansas and said, please extend the star bond because, gosh, this is going to be the biggest development in the history of the state of Kansas. You're going to be proud Kansans to have an NFL team. Everything's going to be great. And the letter was, without committing, it was leading that, hey, we're thinking really hard about coming to Kansas. This sounds like what we want to do. You got to admit, if you read the letter, you're thinking it's written like the Chiefs want to go to Kansas. Now, what I would have required for an extension is really simple. I would have required some sort of a letter of intent. Something that says, you're in first position. You're our first choice. Our intention is to come. We are not willing to put that into writing yet. We have to have other assurances through the county, the state, the city, whatever it may be. But you are choice number one. If you extend the star bond, we will negotiate in good faith that our plan, we would like to come to Kansas and build a new stadium. If you put that in writing as a letter of intent, non-contractual, no obligation, and it can state very clearly in that letter of intent, this does not obligate us to take your offer and move to Kansas. It's simply letting you know where we are, and we'll make this public. And if they'd made that public, then everything is fine. But Kansas didn't do that. They extended it for a year. Well, the people in Clay County believe they're going to have a ballot initiative for the Royals in November for the sales tax to build a new stadium in the Northland. Mark Donovan immediately does an interview with the Kansas City Star and says, well, doggone it, you're asking me the hard questions again. And here's what Donovan said. He said, we couldn't get a Missouri vote on the ballot to renovate Arrowhead and increase the sales tax until April of 2026. I heard Ty Masterson with Pete Mundo today, an excellent interview. You should listen to it on the podcast page, KCMO Talk Radio, from Kansas. And he's wanting to hopefully extend this like 90 days is all and get a commitment and decisions this summer. I think both teams kind of want to do that, but they don't have to. They've got another year to play these states off each other. At what point when they were playing these states off each other did the Royals and Chiefs not gain? What month did it not just get better for them? Other than the fact that any delay in a decision means their stadium will cost more, because as they go forward, the expenses just get higher. We know that. Other than that, what are they losing by dragging this out? Nothing. They're winning at every turn. And Kansas has said, we'll wait till June 30th next year. By law, that's what they'll do. You're telling me after 90 days, all of a sudden the state of Kansas is going to man up and go, oh, that's it, you're out, offers off the table. I call bull. They've literally opened the door with one letter from Mark Donovan to wait until April to have a vote in Jackson County when I guess maybe the Chiefs are hoping Frank White's gone, maybe the thing's cleaned up. I know they're tired of Jackson County, and I know they're tired of Kansas City, Missouri. I know that about the Chiefs. That's fact. That's not opinion. That's fact. That's not opinion. Mark Donovan's exhausted by these people. He wants to move. His owner, very patient man, very deliberate man. Clark Hunt is very, very deliberate and thoughtful and never in a hurry on anything. I get it. That's his personality. It's served him well. You can argue he's the single best owner in the NFL. There are all kinds of great things you can say here. And the longer they wait, the more options they have, and probably the sweeter offer from the state of Kansas. Do you really think the Chiefs are going to decide in the next 90 days? If Mark Donovan's already on record as saying, well, if we decide we want to renovate, or if we still think we want to renovate Arrowhead, we're going to need to have a vote in April of 26. Then what are the fans going to say? We're all just going to sit here until next April and let the Chiefs have a vote about renovating Arrowhead? So I don't know one way or another, but I'll tell you what I'm reading into this. What I read into this is Kansas is extended. They were gracious. They're giving a temporary deadline of maybe 90 days. And the Chiefs are going to say, we couldn't get a vote on the ballot till April, so we're going to Kansas. Missouri didn't do enough. Thank you for your effort. There wasn't enough there. We're going to Kansas. I believe that's going to happen. I believe that with maybe 60 or 70% certainty. That's it. I don't know it. Nobody's told it to me. I'm reading the tea leaves. That's just my opinion. Kansas is extended. They've said they've told the teams you only have about 90 days, and then we're done with this issue. And the Chiefs have said we can't get anything on the ballot until next April. Well, the Royals can get on the ballot in November. They've got more on the line. They're going to, unless they're moving to Kansas, the Royals are going to need more help from Kansas to extend, or at least own up to the 1 year thing and see how the vote goes in November. If the Royals put something on the ballot in November and it fails, they got to move to Kansas. I mean, that's just it. How many times can voters in Missouri say no thanks? And if that happens, they're going to move to Kansas. They're not going to take 20% less money on a $2 billion project. That's $400 million. They're not going to put $400 million more of their own dollars into something in Missouri than they can get in Kansas. I just don't believe it. I've not seen teams do that. So this is absurd that this is dragging out this long. I think Kansas has played this wrong, but they still have the best offer. And that may serve them well. And maybe they know stuff we don't know. Maybe Ty Masterson and his cohorts are like, we got the Chiefs. They want to come. They've heard it from the owner. We got to cross some T's, dot some I's. We can get this thing done in the next couple months, and it's over. That's the way Kansas is acting. That's what they're saying. I will warn Kansas, as I've said before, the Chiefs are savvy. They don't need to be in a hurry. They will work the best deal. It will come down to money and what they really want. The Chiefs offer is really simple. Do you want a new stadium or do you want a renovated stadium? Those are two completely different things. The Royals are building a new stadium, period. We know that. Now, What we haven't heard anybody talk about, and I don't think anybody's asked Mark Donovan about this, if the Royals were leaving, would you build a new stadium at the Truman Sports Complex instead of renovating? Nobody's answered that question. And the Chiefs haven't really talked about doing that. And if you do that, you're going to need a new lease before they open that stadium because it's going to take quite a while for the Royals to play out, tear down the stadium, move away, and build a new one. You're probably looking at like 2034 for the Chiefs to have a new stadium. So it remains a complicated issue. That's not unusual. We're not unique in Kansas City in this way, other than we have two states competing in the same city. That's the only way Kansas City is unique. Other states go through this all the time. Tampa's been trying to build a baseball stadium for 25 years. There have been people all over the place trying to build stadiums, can't get it done. The Raiders left Oakland. The A's have left Oakland. This goes on and on and on. When you can't build a new stadium, teams move and they leave. They're going to get what they want here. These teams are not in danger of leaving Kansas City. As sports fans and people who love sports in Kansas City, this is a great thing, and it's great news. They're not going anywhere. It will get resolved. But I'll be darned if it wasn't another great day for the Kansas City Chiefs, which is kind of what they forced with the letter that Ty Masterson made public last week or 10 days ago. And now it's been extended for 1 year, and the Chiefs are saying they couldn't get anything on the ballot in Missouri until April. That sounds like an excuse to me, not a plan. I can't possibly believe the Chiefs' plan is to put something on the ballot next April. That sounds like an excuse. Well, we couldn't get anything on until April. They gave us a deadline here. We had to take this Kansas money and we're moving. I'm just telling you that's what it sounds like to me. Nobody's told me anything. Just giving opinions here on Uncanceled. If you'd like to join the conversation, hit me up. 913-408-7957. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio.
Kevin Kietzman is Uncanceled and back on Kansas City Radio, 10 to 11 a.m. on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
All right, we are so back on Uncanceled, KCMO Talk Radio. Great to be with you. Got a lot of folks who want to chime in today. If you'd like to be on the show, it's 913-408-7957. And we start with Keith in Midtown. Hey, Keith, what's up? How you doing today?
Hey, Kev, how you doing, brother?
Good, man.
Well, I was two comments. I was telling Mark that about time the Chiefs get around to making these decisions and get this stadium built. Patrick Mahomes will probably be retired, or maybe like the Tom Brady situation where he's gone to another team or something. And then the second comment is accessibility. I feel like the Chiefs Stadium right off the interstate is very accessible. The cars can line up for a mile or two waiting to get into the stadium. And I don't know if they don't build a stadium right off the interstate somewhere in Kansas, I don't see how that's going to be accessible for thousands.
So here's the funny part.
There.
They're like literally at I-70 and 435 now, and they're literally building at I-70 and 435 if they build in Kansas. It couldn't be more identical.
Yeah, I don't think the Chiefs are going to move. I think the Chiefs are going to wait for the Royals to move and tear down.
That's fine. That's fine. That's your opinion. That's great. I'm all for that. And you may be right. You may be 100% right. We'll do opinions all day. But if you're going to say I-435 and I-70 is where the Chiefs need to stay, they're moving to I-435 and I-70. Literally.
I never heard about that, and I'm glad you informed me.
You've not heard that they want to go to the Legends in Kansas City, Kansas, where the Speedway is.
Oh, well, I heard him talk about that.
That's 435 and 70.
Hopefully they'll say where they're at. Hopefully they'll say where they're at, Kev.
Okay, good. Everybody's got an opinion. I'm all for that.
One more thing, Kevin. I do rideshare, and people don't believe this. I pick up people from Germany, from Switzerland, from Great Britain. They come in from all over the world to watch the Chiefs play. I mean, a lot of people don't know that.
I know. No, I think it's fantastic. Yep. And
thanks, sir.
Thank you. And they'll be coming to a Super Bowl in Kansas if there's a new stadium there from all over the world. And you'll be able to double your ride shares. You can charge more because it's a Super Bowl or a Final Four or some other things are going on. So listen, everybody has their opinion on what they want. That's fine. I respect any Chiefs fan that loves Arrowhead and says you want them to stay there. You know what I don't hear complaints about anymore? That the old airport is closed. When the middle airport, the 3-terminal airport, opened, it was very controversial in this town. Oh, it's not downtown. We have to drive 8 miles, 9 miles to the north to go to the airport. It was hugely controversial. Nobody wanted it. And then the whole city fell in love with it. Oh, we don't need a new terminal. We like our 3 terminals with birds flying around and toilets that don't flush. We like this place because we can get dropped off at the curb. Well, nobody says that anymore. They like the new terminal. It's what you do sometimes. I'm not old enough to remember, but I'm going to guess there are people that thought 2 stadiums where they're building them was a harebrained idea. What's wrong with Municipal Stadium? The Chiefs and Royals both played in that stadium down at, 13th and Brooklyn or something like that? Why do we need a new stadium? And they built 2 new stadiums. I'm going to guess that was controversial. There are certain people that don't like change, and I respect that. That's your opinion. These stadiums do not do for these teams what teams require today, and that is revenue year-round other than game day. And it doesn't happen at the sports complex. It does not exist. The Chiefs opened in 1972. It's been there for 53 years waiting for development around it that the Chiefs can make money on. And they've made not $1 building anything in the parking lot other than game day tents and VIP areas and things like that. Not $1. That's not the way the game is played today. That's not professional sports in 2025. It has all changed. It's changed dramatically. Sports complex has been wonderful. Both teams have won world championships. What do you got, 5? We got 3 Super Bowls and 2 World Series since that place was opened. Success.
And an MLS championship.
MLS championship, but not at the Truman Sports Complex, right? That was with the Star Bonds out there at the Legends by Kansas Speedway. And
City of Champions.
Exactly. City of Champions, no doubt. His other comment that Patrick Mahomes would not play in the new stadium is incorrect. Patrick Mahomes is turning 30 this year. The new stadium could be up and running by 2030 at this point. If they move forward, they could be there by 2030 or 2031. Patrick Mahomes would be a 35, 36-year-old quarterback. And if he decides to get serious about losing his belly fat, He can play until he's 44 or 45. Tom Brady played to 45. Aaron Rodgers is 42 this year, isn't he?
Yeah.
41?
Mm-hmm.
What's Aaron Rodgers? If you think of one thing about Aaron Rodgers, he's a quarterback that's not as good as he once was, but doggone it, does he take care of himself, right?
Yeah. Mahomes wants to be Brady, so I could see him playing until he's in his 40s.
He says he's gotten close to him, but apparently they haven't had the discussion about turning 30. They haven't talked about that yet. Tom Brady was a flabby, out-of-shape quarterback in his 20s, and they won titles defensively in New England. And he's like, oh, my God, these guys are getting faster and younger and bigger and stronger, and he got in the best shape of his life.
TB12.
TB12. Derek Jeter, same thing. A lot of guys win championships in their 20s and do great things, and then they're like, uh-oh, I need the fountain of youth, and they get serious about their health. We see that all the time. It's pretty interesting stuff. If you want to hear more about that, go to the podcast, kkhasissues.com. This is Uncanceled. We are back on KCMO Talk Radio on a Tuesday where we're waiting Donald Trump in a cabinet meeting as well.
From the nation's heartland, it's Kevin Kietzman Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM.
All right, we got some breaking news from Pete Mundo. You may have heard of him. KCMO Talk Radio. He has just posted on X that this Friday at 4 o'clock in North Kansas City, Governor Mike Kehoe will be here in Clay County for the signing of the Clay County Sports Authority bill. All right, here we go. I told you I'm going to be a cheerleader on this thing. I'm rooting for the Royals in North Kansas City and the Chiefs of the Legends. I think that'd be a great solution. Each state gets a team, everybody's happy, and the owners don't have to deal with Jackson County or Kansas City, Missouri. I mean, sounds like everybody wins to me on that deal. What could possibly go wrong? Well, they'd have to pass a sales tax in November in Clay County for sure. But this is telling. The governor doesn't just come there for no reason. So I'm sorry, there's no way the governor comes there for no reason. This is being fueled by the Royals. And again, these teams will do anything to get what they want. And if there's a better deal in Jackson County at Washington Square Park or Kansas City, Missouri, maybe they use this as leverage. But I think it's very meaningful. And great work by Pete, who's got a source telling him the governor of Missouri will be in North Kansas City in Clay County on Friday for the signing of the Clay County Sports Authority bill. They have formed a sports authority there, and it's a pretty cool deal. It's a very cool deal. So, I mean, is North Kansas City now the front runner? I mean, I think it should have been all along the last couple of years, but that's me, and we'll see. That's great news. And that's, for the people that have worked very hard there in Clay County behind the scenes, without much publicity. They've not had Mayor Q out there with a megaphone. Both teams we're confident both teams are going to be in Kansas City, Missouri. We're not losing. They haven't had that. They don't have that person in Clay County. They don't have a megaphone. They've just very diligently and quietly worked with some folks that have a lot of money and a lot of land. They got 100 acres on that site. It's a really cool area. It's got easy in and out for the most part. A lot of folks from Kansas will not have to drive through downtown to get there. If you're worried about going through downtown during rush hour, crossing the bridges, there's other ways around, 635 and coming over through Riverside's very simple. Staying away from all the traffic. There's a lot of good things about that site. And it sounds like it's very quietly gaining momentum. And this is the loudest they've been. And they haven't even made this public yet. But they will, because they're going to have a sports authority bill signing on Friday at 4 o'clock with Governor Mike Kehoe. That is excellent news. Good for you, Royals. Good for you. You're going to get what you want. You're going to be really close to downtown. You're going to stay in Missouri if you do this. If they pass that bill for the sales tax, good for you. Go get it. Go get what you want. All right, back to the phones we go. And this is John in Lewisburg on KCMO Talk Radio. Hi, John. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, Kevin?
Hey, I'm doing well, thanks.
Hey, the Trump administration was promising that they would deport all illegals. Now they're talking amnesty. We were going to end funding for Ukraine. Now we're sending more weapons. The Epstein files would be revealed and justice would be brought. And my question, I've got my thoughts and opinions, but I want to hear yours. Is Donald Trump getting dangerously close to losing the MAGA movement? And I'll listen off the air.
No. Okay. All right. Thanks for the call. No, I don't think he's dangerously close to doing that. Let's take them one at a time. First thing, I'm the wrong guy to ask about Epstein because I don't care. I just don't. It just is not a story. I know that a lot of conservatives really, really want justice for all these people that have been in charge, and mostly Democrats and all that. I know you want that. I know you want it. But we've never seen that happen. And I don't know why that would start now. Our ruling class doesn't go to jail. They knew they were never getting Trump in jail. They were trying to get votes. They were trying to win an election. There's no way. But they convinced a whole bunch of Democrat voters that Trump was going to jail, because I got a couple friends. I actually won a bet. I had a guy bet me that it was a two-pronged bet. He bet that Trump would be in jail, and I bet that Trump would be in the White House on January 20th. I won. So that's how divergent these opinions are on these things. So the Epstein thing, you really think they're going to lock up Bill Gates or Bill Clinton? I mean, come on. It isn't going to happen. So I don't care. I don't care if he hung himself or somebody killed a low-life pedophile loser and he's dead and gone, and that is over. I'm much more interested in watching these things as they go and not revisiting them. So that one doesn't bother me. The weapons to Ukraine does bother me. He went out of his way yesterday to say this was going to be for defense purposes only. But if you allow Ukraine to defend itself even more, you're prolonging the war. And it seems to me that the only thing America's investment in this war has been is prolonging the inevitable, and that is Russia's going to get what they want. They're eventually going to get, and Putin's not going to stop. So at some point, you got to give asylum to Zelensky and say it's over. Redraw the lines, the border. Maybe you can keep Kiev, maybe you keep half your country, whatever it is, and sign a treaty for 20 years and move on. Because I don't see any way that Ukraine wins that war. So no, I'm not thrilled with that one. What was the other one he was talking about? I didn't jot them all down. He was coming rapid fire. The other one I think I was a little disappointed in too. I forget what it was you were saying, but I understand where you're coming from on that. No, I don't think he's dangerously close to losing any of the MAGA folks. I really don't. Here is Fred in Raytown on KCMO Talk Radio. Hi, Fred.
Hi, Kevin. You know, you're at your best when you talk sports, and I want to talk to you about saving the complex in Kansas City, Missouri. There's no reason for either team to move.
Hey, Fred. Fred, can you hang on 1 second? I'm going to put you on hold and try to pick it back up and see if we have a better connection, okay? Because this happened yesterday one time. So we're going to try to connect with you. Mark's going to try to reconnect and see if this line is just a little bit better. We had one doing that yesterday, and I'm not sure why that's happening, but I definitely want to hear what he has to say and see if it's just a little bit cleaner. If not, he can call right back and we can get right in on him. All right. Stay with him or go to my, we're going to get him better. Okay. We got him back. All right. We're back. Let's see if this is a little bit better. Fred, go ahead.
Okay. We can keep the complex where it is. What they really need to do is
real quick. Say it real quick.
Complex.
It is no better. So say it real quick.
Change the name to Trump Sports Complex, and you'll have economic development like you've never seen before, and everybody's happy, and we keep the stadiums where they are.
Okay. Thank you very much. There's never been any economic development there. There's been none. The once fancy hotel across the street, which was a gem in the 70s, is boarded up. It's boarded up. I think they're turning into a pickleball thing in the back or something. Like, I'm serious, literally boarded up on some of the windows. They were shot out or busted out or whatever. The Denny's burned down. They're not rebuilding that. It's a parking lot. The Taco Bell is spectacular. It is a good Taco Bell, and they're very efficient because they get big crowds sometimes. A lot of people coming through there. That Taco Bell is top notch. Here is Tom and Lee Summit. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, Kevin, how we doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
You know one group we haven't heard from, shockingly, and if we can think back in the old early 2000s, we haven't heard from the Parkers yet, have we?
Well, I think we just heard from one a little bit ago that said he wanted to keep it at Kauffman Stadium. I think most people that want to stay there are the Parkers. The Parkers are something I used to joke about when they were renovating the stadium, that the only reason people wanted to keep Royals Stadium then and Arrowhead Stadium was the parking was so convenient. And I named those people the Parkers.
Yes, so we heard from one, I guess. I want this researched. Are we the only city in the United States that's been battling over stadiums, where we want to put them, for over 20 years now? I don't know. Is this a problem in other cities?
Yes.
I don't know if it is or isn't. But
okay, well, let me give you some examples. San Diego fought over it for 30 years and built nothing, and the Chargers moved to L.A. In Oakland, they've lost the Raiders and the A's. They've been spitting over this stuff for 30 years, and the Raiders moved back and forth to L.A. a couple times. In Tampa, they've been trying for 30 years to build a new baseball stadium. This stuff happens everywhere. The difference this time is we're not really talking about renovating the old stadiums. These are brand new stadiums, and that's a different thing. There is not one single person that I know that thinks there's any chance as of right now either one of these teams is leaving. We're taking care of these teams. We're keeping them here, Tommy, and I think we're going to have glorious days, man. I'm telling you, you and I, we're going to go to a baseball game, buddy. We're going to sit down there in the upper deck on the left field side in North Kansas City. We're going to watch airplanes land at the downtown airport and look at the skyline while the sun is setting and the Royals are beating the Yankees some night and go, my God, where's this been our whole life?
I can live with that, most definitely. I am still for outdoor football.
Me too.
I know a lot of people. I want outdoor football. So whatever it has to be done, wherever the stadiums need to, but I still want outdoor football. I'm not into a retractable roof. I enjoy seeing football played outdoors, not in 72-degree environment.
I'm
That's just me.
100% with you. So here's what they're doing in Buffalo. They're going to have a new stadium next year. Not this year. It'll be done next year, I believe. In Buffalo, they're going to cover 65% of the seats with these big, giant overhangs that will have massive heaters in them, okay? But the stadium will be open to all the elements for the game to be played. And if it's 10 degrees in Buffalo, you might be sitting in your seat at like 45 degrees. It's going to be chilly. You're not going to be warm. You're going to need to bundle up. But they're going to cover you from the snow. These things are going to melt snow too and take care of that so it doesn't get too heavy and all those things. In Tennessee, they're doing something completely different. They saw this in Europe somewhere. It is going to be a domed stadium that's going to be it's going to be like a greenhouse. It's going to feel like you're outdoors, all right? They will prop open a little bit, but it'll be climate. What they're doing in Nashville is taking if you've ever been there, the west side of the stadium looks over the Cumberland River toward downtown and Broadway where all the music and stuff is. They're building a massive outdoor area off the edge of this stadium where people, other than when the game is being played, are going to hang out. It's going to be its own entertainment. It's going to be music. It's going to be festivals. It's going to be all this stuff. Everybody's building something that suits their city. I'm with you. Every coach that ever had a dome closes the stadium. We don't want a traditional dome, but let's draw one up that looks like Arrowhead, all right, and covers the majority of fans and has enough heat in there that when it's 7 degrees below zero against the Dolphins, most fans are sitting somewhere where maybe it's 30 or 40 degrees. Would that be okay?
I can live with that. And also, when that stadium is built, if and when up in Clay County, I'm not a drinker, but the first round's on me.
Okay, buddy. We'll have a Mountain Dew.
All right, that'll work.
We'll be all hepped up on caffeine. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Longtime caller for my radio show back in the day. Great to have you crossing over from sports radio. We appreciate you being here. Paul's in Overland Park on KCMO Talk Radio. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, I want to give I think you have the same view because you've traveled around for different sports. You've been to different airports. Most of the people I hear don't even think about, oh, I like the stadium. But when you start to see a venue like Globe Life Park where the Rangers play, and you can actually host a major technology event there, you go, that's what it's all about. That's what these players are. And I saw that last fall when I was in Dallas attending an event for Dell, and they had an event at Globe Life Park that was probably a couple million or $2 million to put on, and brought all their customers in from the region. And that's what this is all about when it comes down to it for the Royals and the Chiefs.
And they have high-end hotels right there, lots of shopping in an entertainment district, and the Cowboys are right there as well.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic view, though we won't see the Royals and the Chiefs do it. But, man, if we spread those two things out throughout the city like Northtown and the Legends, dude, we're going to have a lot of fun.
I agree. And we got to get out of our way thinking that everybody's in downtown or in Kansas City, because in Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys are in Arlington. The Texas Rangers are in Arlington. In New York, the New York Giants and New York Jets are in New Jersey. In New York, the Yankees are in the Bronx, which technically is New York City, but they're not in Manhattan where you think of downtown, okay? So this doesn't happen. Most stadiums are not. Dodger Stadium's iconic. It's about 5 miles from downtown L.A. It's close proximity, but it's in a good place for a stadium. It's iconic. It's not going to change, but it's not sitting in downtown. We've done that. That's doable. It would have been great in Kansas City. I would have never – look, I was the guy 20 years ago on the radio screaming downtown, downtown, downtown. But we blew that. We built downtown out. It needed to be revitalized. Downtown was revitalized without baseball because the owner was a cheap ass. David Glass wouldn't spend a nickel. He spent $25 million on his own renovation. Clark Hunt spent 5 times that much of his money on the renovation of Arrowhead. Okay, David Glass was just grade A cheap and didn't want to build a new stadium. That was the time to put the Royals downtown, and we didn't do it. Now we're looking at other locations. Appreciate the call, Paul. Yeah, go ahead. Anything else?
No, I just agree with you. We blew it 20 years ago, and people need to get out and go see the world, and then come back and give me their opinion.
Amen, brother. Thank you for your call. Appreciate that. Uncanceled continues. We got a couple of great topics for Mark today, including, why can't you take your shoes off? We'll do that next on KCMO. We are presented today by bestofferkc.com, helping you leave the hassle behind. We love the fact that Best Offer really helps families out at a time where they've just where they have no time. There's always a time crunch. There's something going on in your life that you don't have time to sit down with a realtor. You don't have a chance to remodel your home. You don't have a chance to do a bunch of showings and all these other things. If that's the situation you're in, but you need to sell your home fast, You're not alone. Over 10% of the homes sold in Kansas City are sold quickly without a realtor, like bestofferkc.com. We love the fact that Best Offer is locally owned, family owned, and helping Kansas City homeowners for over 20 years. They are not a franchise like the other guys. They're not owned by corporations out of the country. All right? It's just a wonderful operation with people that care and want to be there for you and help you out when you need to sell your house. If you call them and they come out and they discuss it and they're not the right fit, no big deal. You're still going to walk away knowing all your options. That's really rare these days. Call bestofferkc.com at 338-SOLD. That's 338-SOLD for bestofferkc.com, helping you leave the hassle behind.
From Leawood to Liberty, it's Kevin Kietzman Uncanceled on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
We have breaking news today, as Pete Mundo has posted, that Governor Mike Kehoe in Missouri will be in Clay County, North Kansas City at 4 o'clock on Friday for the signing of the Clay County Sports Authority bill. That has to be great news for the people in Clay County who are working very, very hard and have an excellent plan for the Royals to build a new stadium in North Kansas City. Just across the river, folks. Just across the river from downtown. And if it wasn't called North Kansas City, if it was called Kansas City, Missouri, this thing would be done. It would just be done. They'd be they could be in a different county and still be in Kansas City, Missouri. It is North Kansas City. It's different. But they've got an excellent plan, and this is a good sign. I think for the people, they got to be very that the governor is coming for this because I don't think you're doing that to build the Kansas City current training facility, which is what they're doing, right? That'd be Clay County. That's right across from the stadium, right? It's across the river.
Yeah.
They're building training fields and stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
That should, I could be wrong, but that should be Clay County across the river.
I could think so.
Yeah, it's very close. I mean, we're maybe even like the same land. This 100 acres we're talking about, I'm not sure. But I don't think he's coming just for that. So I think this is a sign that they're feeling pretty good and having nice, solid discussions with the Royals about the possibility of North Kansas City. So excellent stuff. Where do you want them to go, Mark? Come on, what do you got right now? Just crystal. If you could be the czar and do it, what are you having? What do you got?
Royals to North KC, Chiefs to KCK.
All right.
Sorry, Mayor Q. Sorry, KCMO. Sorry, Jackson County.
I owe you lunch. We're just going to go to lunch. And we're going to talk about how great that would be. It seems not for everyone, but I think for guys like me and you, that it just seems really obvious at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah, makes sense.
When you went on your trip to Seattle a couple of weeks ago, did any of you have to take your shoes off at the airport?
Yes, I actually walked my baby through and had my shoes on, and they freaked out. They made me take my shoes off, go back through again. It was crazy.
And how was that experience for you?
It was scary for the kids.
Right? And isn't it somewhat demeaning?
Yeah, they thought that I was a terrorist. They treated me like a terrorist.
As a solid American citizen with a family on vacation, taking your shoes off.
Yep.
Not anymore. They've announced it's over.
Nice. That's
Trump,
good.
Trump progress, baby. I mean, the machines are good enough now that what was the guy? It's been 20 years, they said. I forget what he sneaked in. It was some sort of chemical thing that maybe could light a match or something he had in his shoes.
In the shoe, yeah.
Is that like Minneapolis? Was he from the Middle East?
I'm not sure.
He's in jail. They locked him up for a long time. He literally was coming on trying to create mayhem, but they caught him. And they said, okay, now everybody for 20 years has had to take their shoes off at the airport, unless you're TSA pre-screen or whatever, right? Nope, those days are over. I think they're going to start at like 20 airports first and make sure. But it should be nationwide before long. Oh, this is sad. Buc-ee's, the construction of Buc-ee's by Kansas Speedway has been delayed by 2 months. We talked about this, and we're like, is it because the Chiefs, you think, or something?
It's got to be the Chiefs. They want to build there, right?
They do, but this is right next to Kansas Speedway on that land. And I don't think they're going to move to the other side.
No, I think they can all build there.
Yes.
I think there's enough room.
No doubt. The Chiefs would be on the other side of 435, as I understand it.
Okay.
So the Buc-ee's delay may just be a regular delay. $95 million to build Buc-ee's. It's going to take 2 years. They're going to have 120 gas pumps and 200 employees that the starting rate is $20 an hour.
Nice.
I know, but they got real rules. No tattoos, no nose rings. I think they've got hair policies or something. You can't have like purple hair. Real rules, but they pay you more.
I heard they have great bathrooms.
I heard they have great barbecue.
That too.
Who doesn't love a great bathroom and great barbecue?
Beaver nuggets?
I don't know what those are. Are those chicken nuggets?
I think so.
God, I hope so. They don't sound right. Thanks for listening to Uncanceled. The Vince Show is up next on KCMO Talk Radio.